Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, I make end-to-end data science portfolio projects that you can actually use to get hired. So make sure you hit subscribe and turn on notifications. In today's video, we are going to do a deep dive on a complete machine learning project, a Canada home price prediction engine. We are taking real Canadian housing data, regression modeling, feature engineering, and we are going to deploy the whole thing as a live Flask web app. This is the kind of project that goes on your resume, your GitHub, and of course on your portfolio website. By the end of this video, you will understand how to take raw data all the way to a working prediction tool that anyone can use. Here's what we'll cover: the problem statement, the data set, the data cleaning, feature engineering, model building and selection, and the full Flask deployment. Let's get into it. Before we jump into the code, let me walk you through what we are building today so you know exactly where we are headed. We'll start with the problem statement. Why predicting home prices actually matters. Then we will look at the data set and do some exploratory analysis. After that, we'll go into data cleaning and feature engineering, which is honestly where most of the real work happens in any machine learning project. Then we will build and compare multiple models, linear regression model, decision trees, and XGBoost using grid search CV to find the best one. And finally, we'll wrap it up all by deploying the model as a Flask web application with a clean interactive front end. Alright, so what problem we are actually solving? Here's the core question. Given a home's location, number of bedrooms, and number of bathrooms, can we predict what it will sell for in the Canadian real estate market? Now, this sounds simple, but there are three real challenges that make it interesting. First, price variance. In Canada, home prices range from as low as $21,000 all the way past 21 million. That's nearly 1,000 times difference. Our model has to handle that kind of spread without breaking. Second, high dimensionality. Canada has hundreds of cities. If we namely one hot encode every city, we end up with hundreds of new columns. We need dimensional reduction to keep this manageable and prevent our model from overfitting. And third, prediction accuracy. This isn't a toy problem. Real buyers, sellers, and agents make financial decisions based on price estimates. A wrong prediction could mean someone overpays by hundreds of thousands of dollars. So if you have to go regress about our data preparation, uh, or outlier handling and model selection. Let's talk about the data. We are working with a data set of over 40,000 Canadian house listings. That is a solid sample size enough to train a robust model while still being manageable on a laptop. The raw data set has 7 columns. We have got number of beds, number of baths, city, price, which is our target variable, and a few others like address, latitude, longitude, population, and median family income. Now here the key decision we made early. We are going to drop the columns that add noise without adding signal. Address is just a text string, not useful for regression. Latitude, longitude are redundant once we encode city, and population and median income, while interestingly, had data quality issues that would require a lot of extra cleaning to use safely. So our final model inputs are just three things: number of beds, number of baths, and city. With city getting one hot encoded. And from those three inputs, we are targeting an R square score above 80%. Let's see if we can get there. Okay, so we are on data cleaning slide. This is the slide I always say is most underrated part of any data science project. Data science requires first step as data cleaning and feature engineering. This is where 60 to 70% of your actual work lives, and it's what separates a model that works from one that crashes in production. Step 1: we drop the province column. The city already tells us where a property is, and province adds duplicate geography information that just create multi-collinearity over model. Step 2: handle missing values. We run drop NA and remove rows with any null values. Importantly, we lose less than 5% of our data doing this. So it's a clean, safe approach. Step 3: outlier removal for beds and baths. We found listings with 16 or more bedrooms, which are clearly data entry errors or commercial properties that would distort our residential model. Any listing with 6 or more beds or baths get replaced with a dataset mean, which rounds to 3. Step 4. Price outlier handling. Prices above $20 million get replaced with mean of sub 20 million prices. Then, this is the key move. We apply is per city outlier filter using one standard deviation around each city's mean price. This is much better than a global because Toronto prices and rural Ontario prices follow completely different distributions. Step 5. Dimensionality reduction. Any city with fewer than 1,000 listings gets over-bucketed into another category. This cuts our one hot columns from potential 100 downs to a manageable set of major cities. And step 6. One hot encoding. We use pandas function get underscore dummies on the city column and drop the other category as our reference. This standard practice to avoid the dummy variable trap. Now we get into the fun part, building the model. And I want to show you the right way to do this, which is start simple, then level up. We start with linear regression in our baseline, no hyperparameters, just fit and score. We get around 82% R square. That's honestly pretty good for simple inputs, beds, baths, and city, but we can do better. Next, we use grid search CV to compare the algorithm, linear regression, lasso, and descent regression. Grid search CV runs every combination of hyperparameter across 5 cross validation folds. So we are not just testing on one holdout set, we are getting a robust estimate of real world performance. The decision tree comes out on top among those three, around 85% R square. But then we push further and try XGBoost, extreme gradient boosting, with 100 estimators, learning rate of 0.1 and max depth of 3. We get up to 87%. Why does XGBoost win? Because it's an ensemble method. Instead of one tree, it builds hundreds of weak trees sequentially, with each tree correcting the errors of the previous one. That residual error correction is exactly what we need for a noisy dataset like a real estate prices. Alright, let's see the model actually work. Here's a prediction price function that we built to make individual predictions. It takes a city name, number of bedrooms, and number of bathrooms as input. What does it as is? First, find the column index for that city in our feature variable. Then it creates a zero vector of the length of all our features. It sets the bed count, bath count, and flips the city flag to 1. Then passes the vector to the trained XGBoost model and returns the predicted price. Let me show you some sample predictions for a 2 bedroom, 2 bath home in Toronto. The model predicts approximately 950 CAD for Toronto, for Vancouver 2 bed 2 bath 1.3 million, and for Barrie, which is a smaller town in Ontario, 675K. That Vancouver premium about 1.5 premium over Toronto for the same property spec makes complete sense given real world housing markets. The fact that our model captures that geography pricing differences with just one city as a feature validates our one hot encoding approach entirely. Location really is a everything in real estate market. Now let me also show you the UI of the model. So user is coming on this platform. He would be selecting number of bedrooms, number of baths, and location. So I'm selecting Barrie. It will give me an estimate this. Let's select for Toronto, which I just showed you. It's showing us 950K. And now let's check for Vancouver. It's coming to 1.3 million. Similarly, we can check for any of the locations. Now, let me also walk you through the folder structure of our uh, project. We have three folders: client, model, server. Client is the folder wherein our app resides, where the UI is there. It has CSS, HTML, and JavaScript. JavaScript talks with our server. Server has the artifacts of the model saved in the pickle file. Server.py file runs as a server which is running for Flask. Util file is the utility files which are calling functions with server for the dataset coefficients. And here lies our model, which has the Python workbook, housing list, listing data, and the sample data set. Let me walk you through different parts of uh, project here. So this is how we import all the libraries. So Python notebook shows you what are the different steps here. This notebook I would share as a link in the description for your reference. So we load the data into a data frame and we see what data we have. So here we are just doing the number of beds to find if we have any outliers. So if you see this program 10174, so these are the kind of outliers we are treating here. There can be no house which has so many bedrooms. So we are treating any house which has rooms more than 13. Here we are treating number of nulls. Then we are doing feature engineering based on the number of rooms which has greater than number of beds greater than 6. So all of these steps I've already shown you in the presentation, and you can find the notebook link in the description. Now let's come to the Flask web application part. This is what the takes the project from a notebook which only data scientists can use to a product that anyone can use. We wrap the model in a Flask web application. Here I'm showing the architecture. The user enters a city, number of beds and baths in the front end. The data is sent as a post request to our Flask server. The Flask server loads the pickled XGBoost model and the columns .json file which maps cities names to their feature positions and runs the prediction. It returns a JSON response with the estimated price. On the backend, our app.py file defines one key endpoint. In this scenario, that function name is predict underscore home underscore price. When it receives a request, it reads the city, beds, and baths. Construct the feature vector exactly the same way our predict function does. It calls the model.predict and sends back the result. The whole round trip is about 3 milliseconds. On the front end, we have a HTML, CSS, and JavaScript UI. It loads the list of cities dynamically from the column.json file. So if you retain the model with the new data, the UI updates automatically. No hard coding required. When you hit estimate price, it fires a fetch call to the Flask endpoint and displays the predicted value in real time. The two files you need to deploy, the pickle file, the model.pickle file, and the columns.json. Notebook export both of these in the final cells. That's our production artifact. Let's bring it all together. Here's what we have achieved. Our final XGBoost model hits 87% R square. We validated that with 5-fold cross validation, where it consistently scores above 80%, and it delivers predictions in about 3 milliseconds via the Flask API, fast enough for any real-time web use case. Now, let me share the 4 key takeaways I want you to walk away with. Number 1, city is king. One hard coding for location is by far the most impactful feature in this model. Geography drives real estate pricing more than property specs alone. This is why feature engineering matters. recognizing what your data is actually telling you. Number two, strategy matters. Outlier strategy matters. We applied per city deviation filtering instead of a global price cutoff. That decision alone significantly improved model stability because it respects the different price distributions of different markets. Number three, XGBoost wins and it wins consistently. Even with just three raw input features, ensemble methods outperform the single model because they correct for residual errors iteratively. And number four, the full stack deployment is what makes a portfolio project shine. A model in Notebook impresses no one. A model with a working web interface that non-technical person can use, that's that's make you hired. And that's a wrap up on the Canada home price prediction engine. We went from a raw CSV of 40,000 listings to a full deployed machine learning web application end to end. If you want, if you found this useful, please hit the like button. It generally helps the channel reach more people who are trying to build real data science skills. And you haven't subscribed yet, now's the time. I'm posting a new portfolio project every week. Drop a comment below if you have questions about any part of the project. The data cleaning, model selection, Flask deployment. I read every comment, I will answer your questions. The full code is in the description. The Jupyter Notebook, Flask server, the front-end HTML, and the dataset. Everything you need to run this yourself. Go build it. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.